going to stand for you saying that I silenced you in any way.
I think
I supported everything you've ever said. And by the way, the fact that she's not attracted to me, that's one of those things that she told me that I couldn't say out loud. Nope. Oh.
Am I surprised with decision day decisions? Not really, not really. The other two were a given. I'm actually surprised with Becca and Austin's decision, but then the ending, no one saw that coming. And then I'm here for, Cameron finally speaking his truth and letting it be known that Clare. Am I surprised with the decisions from Decision Day? No. The other two couples were always going to be a no, so there's no surprise there. I think the only couple that actually surprised me were Austin and Becca, and I didn't get why they made that decision, but then I guess by the end the truth came out. I always said they were always very performative, as though they were hiding something, and the truth came out. And I'm here for Cameron. Cameron is my guy. The fact that he let it be known that Clare was playing with him when she tried to use the word, "Oh, you silenced me," and he wouldn't take it, and he told the truth. He sort of let a peek or just slightly open the door to some of the things that she's done to him. I can't wait for reunion. I can't wait. Oh my God, I want to just spill the tea. Anyway, hey there. Thanks for stopping by. It's your girl Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. Click the like button. Turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos. And definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Married at First Sight, Season 17, Episode 20. Well, it's decision day, and I personally don't know why we need a decision day, because all these people broke up weeks ago, so it's a waste. Anyway, they need to fill in the episode, so what do we do? So first off, they're starting with Austin and Becca. What do I think? Austin and Becca, for me, I think at the start, they might have had an attraction, but then the moment Becca confided that she came with a lot of medical history and, obviously she's got endometriosis. She had a surgical procedure for I think she had an appendectomy or something like that, and so she came with a lot of health concerns. And I think Austin, on his part, took a step back, researched what was going on with her, and then as soon as he realized the severity of these things, he just checked out. And he decided to play happy couples on camera. That way he didn't get a bad edit, in my opinion, because I don't think he was ever, after he found out that she had these health conditions, I don't think he was ever fully invested. She is right, because they meet up with the experts and she's saying, I don't understand what is real and what's not real, because he's very, affectionate on camera. He's into talking about very in-depth conversations, but then when the cameras turn off, he's a totally different person. And I think he was trying just to be polite, just to make her happy. That's the impression that I get. I think he wasn't really checked in. I think she was all in. She fell in love with this guy, but he checked out at some point, and it kept playing up. We all know the incident where they went on the couples retreat and he ran out of bed because he said he wanted, apparently he said the bedroom he ran to was, some celebrity, and he really wanted to sleep in there because he was really excited because he's a fan of this guy. I don't think that's it. I think there's more to it. So the experts speak to them, because prior to them meeting with the experts were saying, oh, they struggle with their communication. And I think if they can sort of understand each other, I don't think communication is their main issue. I think it's the fact that there's lack of attraction on one side, and the person who's not attracted to the other person is not brave enough or is not honest enough to step up and sort of say, sadly, I don't feel you that way. Do I think they should have both said yes? I don't think so. I don't think they should have stayed married. I think because the experts asked sort of Becca, are you going to say yes or no? And she said yes. I think Austin didn't want to be the bad guy, so he went along with it and said yes. Am I happy they said yes? I don't know. I really don't know, because I find that in the last couple of seasons, people have gone there to be performative and more for the celebrity that comes with being on reality TV. I really am yet to see a couple that I say, oh, these people really like one another and want to stay married. It's been a couple of seasons. I think since maybe the Brennan and Vincent, even Jess and Austin, I think we haven't had couples that have really been all in and have really been willing to do the work. So I'm not surprised that there's no one at this point who is a believable couple that they really want to stay married. Just a disclaimer, I've watched Married at First Sight since season 1 when Jamie collapsed on the floor because she didn't like Doug, and her family had to persuade her, and she fell in love with Doug because of his parents. Because I think she first fell in love with his parents and then later fell in love with her husband. And I've watched through the season. The only season I don't remember quite watching was Ashley and Anthony, but they're still married. They've got 2 kids. We know that. I fell in love with Shanice and Jeffy on their season, and I've watched and I've cheered for people. And I remember even when people were criticizing Vincent and saying, oh, he's very insecure, he's challenged by, and I said, no, he's trying to sort of bring his best self to the forefront. That way he can, live up to Brianna's expectations because he really likes her. He's not intimidated, but he's trying to put his best foot forward. And every time he fails, he struggles. And so this season, I remember watching it and trying to think who I thought was going to make it. And initially, I thought it was Lauren and Orion, and then Orion played the fool of himself. And so to see Emily and Brennan, I remember questioning why Brennan kept saying, I don't believe in divorce. I don't believe in divorce. And I've learned over the past 17 seasons that if the producers keep playing something, they know that the person is going to go against it. But I didn't think he would go against it this much. When I saw him on their wedding, I thought, oh, he really likes her. On their honeymoon, I thought he's attracted to her, so we're cooking with gas. And then everything he's done since then has just shown me that this marriage is not going to work. And in all my seasons of watching Pastor Carl, Dr. Pepper, Dr. Pia, this is her first season. I know she came in as a consultant at one point, but to see the disdain on Dr. Pepper's face and Pastor Carl, to see the dislike, the animosity, every negative feeling you could think, you could feel it pouring out of the experts when Brennan walked in. You could tell they don't like him. You could tell they are disappointed in the fact that they gave an opportunity to someone who they should never have even allowed to be shortlisted, let alone be married to someone. And you could see the difference in how they received Brennan and Emily, the way they were loving, they were empathetic, they were comforting Emily. And so when she sat down and then Brennan started going into, I was protecting you from myself. And it's like, buddy, keep quiet. We don't want to hear it. What is it in particular you were protecting her from? What were you going to say or do? Because he tried to use the accident that, oh, but I was there for you in your time of need. I said this before at the time that he was very performative. He was trying to get brownie points for looking after someone who had gone through a horrific accident. That's the impression that I get. And I have to give it to Emily for standing up for herself. She really stood up for herself when he tried to sort of make her seem insecure, very pathetic, and, very unable to sort of self-advocate. She was able to speak up for herself. The experts, you could see every time she spoke for herself, they were sort of willing her on to sort of say everything that was on her chest to his face. That way she could move on. After they both said no, it was to be expected. And the experts, actually, Pastor Carl said, I'm not going to fight for this marriage because it's obvious that the two of you don't click, and so there's no point in us sort of trying to persuade you to stay together. And then when they said no, you could say even the experts, the way they hugged him, you could tell they were just doing it as a courtesy thing that they needed to do. Dr. Pierre tried to hold his feet to the fire. I know he has a lot of disrespect for Dr. Pierre. I said this before, because even when she was talking and she's the one who did all the grilling, you could see the look on his face that he had no respect for her. He's afraid more of Pastor Carl and Dr. Pepper than he was of Dr. Pierre, even when she came to do a home visit. So I'm not surprised that they both said they wanted a divorce. To see Pastor Carl actually hold Emily and sort of comfort her and tell her that this is not you. This is not you. This is not your fault. Know that you're better than this. Know that you deserve more than this. And don't let this idiot hold you down or make you feel like you're less than. And I don't know what he thought he was doing. I don't know what he thought he would gain by being on the show, because sadly, he's just made a fool of himself. He's made a mockery of himself. Whatever he thought he was saying, but I was trying to protect her. Protect her from what? Protect her from what? And for Dr. Pierre to tell Emily that you're a phenomenal woman, and to have all the experts stand beside her and tell her that we are here, we want you to grow, we hope you've learned a lot about yourself, and moving on, you'll be able to, overcome this. Don't let this be your fight song. Don't let this be your defining moment. You're better than this. Brennan just walked out. I think he could tell that nobody liked him. I think he could tell that even the producers couldn't stand his ass. And so I can't wait to see what happens at the reunion and what the experts have to say to him. Am I the only one confused as to why we needed to see Cameron and Clare? Because we all know they both asked for a divorce. Well, Cameron asked for a divorce. Clare asked for a separation weeks ago. And Claire's just been on camera just for the sake of it. Cameron has kept to himself, and I appreciate him because he's got a health condition. He needs to focus on that and sort of try and manage his symptoms away from the stresses of life. And filming a show while you're trying to sort of get to grips with your cardiac condition is not the best. I'm surprised. Am I surprised? Really? No. Well, yes, I am, I guess, because I'm surprised with how civil they were. Because apparently Clare had initially said she wasn't attracted to Cameron. Cameron wasn't her type. So I thought this would come up. It didn't come up. They actually had a civil conversation and took responsibility for their actions. Do I think they would have worked? No, I think Clare was too uptight. And I think once Cameron didn't meet her brief of what she was looking for in a man, she moved on. And wasn't ready to entertain anything else. And so whether or not Cameron had come back and said you wanted to stay in the marriage, I don't think she would have stayed. And Cameron, I think because of the negativity that was there when she told him she wasn't attracted to him and everything else she said, he was never going to entertain staying in a marriage, because the experts tried to have a conversation and sort of said to them, how would you feel, if, for example, would you be willing to give it another shot since you've had this epiphany, you've had this realization that maybe you should have taken advantage of the experts and maybe you should have asked us to support you in sort of areas you're struggling, especially your communication? And Cameron was the first one to say, I think there was more they said, because you can see from the experts' reaction, you can see who they like and who they don't. You can see who they're disappointed in and who they're not. Because Clare was the first person to leave and Cameron stayed behind, and Pastor Callum was having a conversation and just telling him, look after yourself both emotionally and physically, and if you need any help, we're here. Whereas Clare, I think they also threw Clare's BS. She tried to play, I'm a therapist and it's a pity people expect me to have answers and I didn't have answers. And it's like, you're not superhuman. I don't get where people get this mentality that healthcare professionals should always be polite, empathetic, compassionate. No, you are human as well. You do go through your own process where you process emotions and feelings. So for her to try and hide behind that, I didn't get that. I like the fact that Dr. Pia was very dismissive and dismissed it immediately and shut it down. That way she couldn't sort of lean into it and sort of use it as an excuse, in my opinion, as to why she treated Cameron badly. I think she treated Cameron badly. I think maybe we'll find out at the reunion. I think Cameron has decided to be a gentleman about it and not slander her the way sort of Brennan was saying, I was protecting. What Cameron did is what Brennan wished or was trying to say he did to Emily, in the sense that Cameron was very protective and shielded Clare away from a lot of negativity in front of the experts, whereas you had Brennan saying, I was shielding you. No, he didn't. He needs to take a page out of Cameron's book. And I'm surprised, if Cameron was going on dates, why didn't Clare say anything about that? She didn't say anything because she ran and told Emily that Cameron and Brennan were planning on going on double dates. Why didn't she bring that up to the experts as one of the reasons why she decided to move on? I can see Pokey's there. She was telling a lie. I don't know. I remember a couple of episodes ago, towards the beginning, saying something felt a bit unreal with Becca and Austin, saying they were a bit too performative, as though they were trying to impress someone. And then I had to retract that because I felt bad, as though I, judged them and I put them in this box where they didn't belong. And so for a while, I just was indifferent to them. And so hearing this conversation, even when they said yes on decision day, I was hesitant because I couldn't understand why they were saying yes when things were not right or when there was something missing. Anyway, they decided to give each other a shot. And then suddenly, I don't trust anything Clare says. I said this last week that misery likes company, and Clare, I believe, went to Emily and told her about Brennan wanting to go on a double date just because she felt some type of way, because when they asked for a divorce and separation with Cameron, it was because Emily asked the question, and because she's been miserable on her own, she wanted company, so she decided to bring Emily into her misery and sort of have an ally there to sort of fight the guys with. And so I didn't trust what she said. And then to have her now be involved in telling Becca that Austin is out with a producer, she's the last person I need to give anyone advice. Sadly, yes, she's a therapist, but in relationships, she did terribly in her marriage. She's the last person to give advice. I give credit to Becca for holding Austin's feet to the fire. And Austin was very selective in his truth, in the sense that he wasn't honest. He should have told her, I went out, met one of the producers, we had a great time, and this is what has happened. But sadly, he decided to lie and continue to lie and continue to lie. And in his lies, he's got himself in this predicament whereby he's now being seen for who he is. And Emily has finally realized that maybe this marriage is not it for me, because this man continues to play me. I think I said it before, he said yes on decision day because she said yes. Had he gone first and had he realized the optics would be in his favor, he would have said no. Am I surprised that they split? I think they're going to split. They're both saying we'll think about it, but I would automatically say they are divorced. And then you have Clare sort of, I have to chime in. We've been silenced. And it's like, please keep quiet. Nobody wants to hear your opinion. You've been divorced for weeks. And you know that Cameron is struggling with his health condition. You have asked him to keep secrets, and yet you are now throwing him under the bus and saying, you silenced me because you wouldn't allow me to speak about Brennan to Emily. Well, if he silenced you, you're still able to speak about it. So where's the silencing, ma'am? Where is the silencing? Be honest. And Cameron eventually lost it. I give him credit for telling the producers. He spoke it into the camera that she's sending me text messages to make sure that I don't reveal anything she told me not to talk about. And also, oops, she says she's not attracted to me. Because I remember on After Party, Cameron saying that Claire said he wasn't her type. She liked a black guy with muscles, and he was far from it. And so for him to then reveal it now, I expected it on decision day, but he didn't say anything. He decided to be cordial. She poked the bear and he let it slip. She said, I'm not his type. So I can't wait for the reunion to hear what she says, because you could see her panicking. She was still texting, and the producers shot back to her texting, and it's like, they're very messy and shady, aren't they? If self-love was a person, then I would put Cameron's face on it. Because he walked off and he never came back, and he took himself off. He's got a health condition. He doesn't need the stress. He doesn't need the frustration of having to argue with this woman back and forth and trying to persuade her when she's done nothing but treated him like crap. I can't wait for the reunion for him to expose every single thing that she did to him. Oh my God, I'm looking forward to that. And then you have, everyone sort of speak and sort of talk about what their goals are. And Brennan is saying he's hoping that this is a teachable moment. Brennan missed the boat, in my opinion. He had an amazing partner, someone who would have fought for him and for their relationship. But sadly, he decided to be a jackass, and he decided to focus on other things. And now here we are. He's in a space whereby he's divorced a woman who could have been the love of his life, someone who would have been an amazing mother to his children, but he put his pride above that. I give credit to Emily for sitting down next to him and actually having a conversation. She does appreciate the fact that he was there in her time of need when she had the accident. He stayed beside her, whether it was genuine or not. But the fact that she was able to accept and take ownership of her own issues and sort of say she's willing to move forward, that's amazing. He missed the boat. It's a pity. And then I don't get Lauren accepting an olive branch from Orion. I don't get why she wants to be more than friends with him, or why she wants to be friends with him. He treated her like crap. He made false allegations. It's time for baby girl to pack her bags and keep it moving. But she's decided to sort of, open that door, and she said it's up to him to see whether he wants to fight for her or not. I don't think he's it. I think the way he treated her and the things he said are unredeemable, so she needs to keep it moving. And then Austin. Why is Austin shocked? He shouldn't be shocked. He deserves what he got. He lied to her. She told him, I felt like we were living in a movie. I expected you to be realistic with me, and yet you haven't. So you're going to make an amazing guy for somebody else, but not for me. And now he's upset. He wants to cry. And it's like, well, buddy, you had it in the palm of your hands and you lost it. She kept telling you, I need intimacy. You decided, instead of giving her intimacy, you decided to add lies on top of it. And look where you are. Now you're in a situation whereby you're all alone, buddy. It is what it is. Michael and Chloe seem to be doing amazing. I think Chloe seeing Michael boxing and then going to the sex store did it for her. It did it for her, and so she's in a happy space. It is what it is. What do you expect? Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 19. Bye guys.